Hello everyone. Hello everyone. So this is one of the homework assignments that we had from Wednesday, the assignment due Wednesday. And I noticed that a lot of people had a little trouble with with identifying the meter type for this excerpt. And it's somewhat understandable, and I'll talk about that toward the end. But I want to start by showing how and why this 6/8 is the correct meter for this excerpt. You can see here that the 16th notes are grouped in groups of 6. Here, here, and all throughout the excerpt. Also, the 8th notes are grouped in groups of 3. So together they imply a beat grouping totaling 16th notes, or in other words, 3/8 notes, which are equal to a dotted quarter note. So just taking a glance down here, we'll take a look at what the music would look like if it were notated in 3/4. If it were notated in 3/4, which, by the way, I can do because it has the same number of 16th notes in the bar. So if it were notated in 3/4, you'd expect to see the grouping of the beat reflected in the 16th notes and reflected in the divisions and subdivisions of the beats. And so they are. It is here. It is in the 8th notes as well, as opposed to the example earlier. And further, if the music were written in a compound quadruple, you'd expect to see 4 instances of the beat reflected in each bar. The unit of the beat would be the dotted eighth, and most of you got that correct when you chose compound quadruple. But what happens to the 8th notes when we say that the dotted 8th note is the beat? If we have 8th notes in succession like this, we're going to have to split one over a beat. But you can see here that we have one beat represented, second beat, third, and fourth beats. Now, I've drawn a bunch of arrows below this staff to indicate that notes which were falling on either on the beat or on the divisions of the beat are now falling on syncopations just before the beat. And so I want to play for you, and you can imagine that these will all sound different. I want to play for you each of these examples so you can hear how different they sound when they're played according to these metrical interpretations. So 6/8. Okay, so that was the excerpt played in 6/8. Here's the same excerpt with the 16ths lasting the same amount of time in 3/4. Here we go. And lastly, we'll listen to this excerpt as if it were in compound quadruple. So what I want you to pay attention to is the effect of these notes, which were formerly eighth notes, on weaker subdivisions, weaker divisions of the beat. These are now these will now sound like syncopations to the beat. So let's give this a listen. So you can see that the grouping of the divisions of the beat has implications for the performance of the piece. And I can understand why some of you may have thought that this was in compound quadruple, because when you look at the pattern here, it seems to suggest groups of three, ascending groups of three, somehow that they're grouped aurally, sonically, but the way that it's notated, with if it were notated, if that was the composer's intention, it would look like this. But the composer's intention was for the division of the beat, the eighth note, to be divided into two 16th notes. So I hope that helps. I hope that clears things up. And we'll take a look at a few more examples like that tomorrow in class. Thanks.